Hajime Asaoka is a renowned Japanese watchmaker who is a member of the Independent Watchmakers Academy or AHCI. He is known for making complicated high-end watches in very limited numbers that can cost up to $100,000. Naturally, not many people can get their hands on one of his watches. Asaoka founded the brand Kurono Tokyo in 2018 as a means to make his watches more accessible to thousands of fans who couldn't afford to get one of his more exclusive pieces. Since its inception, Kurono has come out with 5 watch families and over 20 different watches. One important note here is that although founded by Asaoka, these watches are only designed by him, but not entirely made by him or his original team, and do not use in-house movements. And this is understandable given that most Kurono watches cost less than $2,000 US. One of the most interesting releases and my favorite Kurono is the Calendrier Type 1. As the name suggests, the Calendrier Type 1 features a complete calendar complication. That is, the watch shows the day, date and month. The difference between a complete calendar and an annual calendar is that a complete calendar cannot track the number of days in a month and will always go up to 31, whereas an annual calendar complication adjusts the day and month automatically for every month of the year other than February. In short, a complete calendar will need to be adjusted at least 5 times a year in February, April, September and November, while an annual calendar only needs to be adjusted once a year to handle February. Now, annual calendar watches generally cost tens of thousands of dollars, so I'm fine with a complete calendar complication in a watch priced under $2,000. This full calendar is powered by the automatic Japanese Miyota 9122 movement. Now, this is a rare complication as it's not often produced by Swiss manufacturers like ETA. This Miyota caliber has a power reserve of 40 hours and an accuracy of -10 to +30 seconds a day. Although this seems like a big deviation, I've personally never noticed a difference when wearing the watch. I love the size and wearability of this watch. The stainless steel case measures 38mm in diameter, which is perfect for my 6-inch wrists. With a closed case back, this watch has a 50-meter water resistance, which is more than adequate for a dress watch. The watch has a standard 20mm lug width and a lug-to-lug width of about 45mm. Being just over 10mm thick, this watch easily slides under the cuff. The coin edge bezel is great because it is less prone to scratches compared to a smooth polished bezel. The dial is covered with a domed sapphire crystal which accentuates the font and hands. Overall, this watch wears very well on my wrist and should fit easily on most wrists. This watch has a very distinctive looking dial with its deep olive, striking hands and unique font. I think this is a great daily watch. Although it's slightly more dressy, it doesn't look out of place on a t-shirt and jeans either. Moreover, the olive green dial is not conspicuous. It's pretty muted and flies under the radar. In most lighting conditions, the dial looks dark green, almost blackish. Only in direct light or in sunlight does the dial actually look bright olive green. This is good in a way because the watch can be worn like a true formal watch and it won't attract unwanted attention like a bright dial would. It's bad in a way because the color doesn't always pop and you might not enjoy it. I love the font on the dial face. What do you think of this font? It's so different than the usual watches and I think it's really cool to look at. And I also like the Japanese text here which says Kurono. The two subdials share the same olive green color as the rest of the dial and have a subtle radial finish. It seems that the trend nowadays is to have differently colored subdials. But this watch is here to show you why you shouldn't always follow trends and that a watch can look great even with a monochromatic palette. The Calendrier features highly polished leaf-style hands for the hours and minutes and the super thin seconds hand. Although the hands look good, one nitpick I have is that the hour and minute hands are very similar in length, which sometimes makes it hard to read the time at a glance. A clearer difference here would have been better in my opinion. Again, this is not a big deal and it can be easily overlooked. All in all, this dial has really grown on me and I feel that it suits my taste really well. If you're liking this video so far, please do hit the thumbs up. This really helps small YouTube channels like mine. Thanks, I really appreciate it. Now coming to what is probably the only real disappointment in this watch. The Calendrier Type 1 comes with this black leather strap with a pin buckle system. This strap doesn't look cheap or shoddy. In fact, I think this textured black strap looks good and even feels comfortable to me. So what's the problem then? It is that this strap can fit wrists only 6.5 or 6.6 inches or larger. There just aren't enough adjustments available, which is really annoying. I mean, come on, how hard is it to drill a few more holes on the strap? Since I couldn't use the default strap, I swapped it out for another leather strap, and here we are now. Kurono watches are super popular. I mean, they are really popular. Since each model is made in limited numbers, they sell out in minutes. This was the case with the Calendrier Type 1 as well. This is why the price of this watch is inflated on the secondary market. I was lucky to grab one just a little bit over its retail price of 243k Japanese yen or roughly 1,800 US dollars. In closing, this is one of my favorite watches in the collection. It wears really well, looks good, and is pretty exclusive. I haven't met anyone else who owns a Kurono watch. All in all, I've been very happy with this watch. If you want to grab one of Kurono's watches, you should check out their website from time to time or sign up for their newsletter. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up before you go and consider subscribing. See you in the next video very soon.